for Kosoto as a second trick. Okay? Sometimes when you go for a Taotoshi, okay, we'll just start with a guy like this. A lot of times you go Taotoshi and you want to go over here and the guy will, one, he'll put his arm or his shoulder in here, and two, he'll step over a little bit. Okay? So what he does is when you come in here, he blocks you like right here, okay? And he'll put his foot forward just a little bit, because when they stop you like this, if they do this, they're not real strong, but natural reaction is if you're trying to stop somebody, you put your foot forward a little bit, okay? So when you're going in for like the Taotoshi, the person is they're not gonna wanna let their arm come over, okay? And they're gonna stop and they're gonna put back. But what that does is, so I come here and this foot comes forward a little, or even if it stays, what that does is, if he gets inside of me, instead of stepping over here, I step short and I flip that leg, okay? It works for any time the person is going, when you're going this way and they're gonna try and defend you by pushing you or standing up tall, okay? So when you come in, you wanna get their momentum to think you're going this way, and then you stop and you clip going back the other way, okay? This works really good, especially if you've thrown one or two people or you've almost thrown the person. It works for not just like Taotoshi. Seonage is the same thing. If you start to go and they resist and they're gonna pull backward, if you've ever done somebody and they do Seonage, there's two things you do. You step around to try and slide off so they can't throw you, or you're gonna sit down and you're gonna pull backwards. Okay, this is for the person that has that tendency to sit down and wanna pull back, because they're either gonna lean back or they're gonna step forward and lean back. That's what opens up your taking them to the back, okay? Doesn't matter what it is. Even if you go Ogoshi and the guy pulls back, okay? The closer you are to the trick, a lot of times you don't have to take an extra step, okay? So like for me, once you've done it a few times, the person wants to get ahead of you, so you start to go and they lean back, you just stop and you clip, okay? This doesn't work as good for like Uchimatas or Haragoshi in this pattern, because most of the time for Uchimata, your legs on the inside, to get on the outside is pretty hard. Or if you're trying to do Harai, it's pretty hard to go that way. However, for all the other tricks, it works pretty good. Any questions on that? So for right now, what I want you to do is think about doing Taotoshi. If you want, you can do Ogoshi, Taotoshi, Seonage, okay? So you're gonna do 1, 2, stop, and clip back, okay? When you do 1, 2, you're not gonna turn, you're gonna, instead of like if you're doing Seonaga Taotoshi, you're gonna turn your back. When you do 1, 2, would be at the point where you're gonna turn, but instead of turning, you're gonna slide, reverse your waist, and you wanna be facing that way. Because as we've talked about 2 weeks in a row now, what happens if you keep your back to them and you stick your leg out here? You're gonna go backwards, okay? So, we're gonna do 1, 2, stop,